All right, I am here with longtime blogger Mickey Kaus, and first I gotta say, it's so cool to talk to you because you've been blogging for so long. I mean, blogging hasn't been big for a lot of years, but you've been doing it. You're like one of the founding bloggers.
Well, I'm the last guy to get the message that blogging is over. I started when I was after I left Newsweek in '99, and I was just unemployed. So I was the guy who didn't have a job and resorted to the web because I had nothing better to do. So that's how you become a pioneering blogger, by being unemployed. And I just kept at it because I like the forum. I now become addicted to Twitter, which is very disturbing because once you're used to expressing yourself in a tweet, the process of even writing a short blog item seems very cumbersome, and I'm just too lazy to do it now.
Well, it's rather amazing, frankly, that you haven't been banned or shadow banned or whatever on Twitter these days.
I don't think I'm big enough to ban or shadow ban, but I'm totally paranoid about it. As you know, it's the sort of thing you're naturally paranoid about because you have no idea what they're doing, and you just fantasize that there's a room full of 20-year-old people in Palo Alto somewhere, and they have nothing better to do but to read your site and decide they don't like it, and somehow secretly steer visitors away from you.
Now, obviously, this conference here is about immigration. You've been talking about immigration, specifically illegal immigration, for such a long time. Words cannot adequately describe how long you've been talking about this issue. And this election season, primarily because Donald Trump has forced this issue to the forefront, this has become a very big issue.
Well, that's right. I think there was always the potential there to be a big issue. Trump's just the only person who was outside of the elite enough to seize the issue and to go through the opening that was there. But the opening was always there because nobody in either party was talking about having an immigration policy to benefit American workers as opposed to American employers or foreign workers. So I'm glad that Trump did that. I'm not saying I'm going to vote for him, I don't know, but immigration is one of the issues where I think he's way more right than wrong and more right than anybody else.
Well, it's more like he said something aloud that everybody knew was true, but nobody wants to admit. It's an amazing thing to watch.
Well, that's right.
It's like the emperor's new. The emperor has no clothes. And
right.
Said it
I think I would just even his crazy tweets, some of which are crazy. You know that that's what this guy thinks. Okay, so you have a direct line to his brain, and he's the devil. You know he's a little crazy on some issues, but he's right on others. Hillary, who has her staff of 300 carefully crafting the tweets, you have no direct line to her brain, so she's an unknown threat. I think voters take the devil they know, crazy old Trump, versus the person they don't know, maybe.
I've often said that voting for Donald Trump is like playing Russian roulette because you don't know what his core values are, but voting for Hillary is like playing Russian roulette with all the chambers loaded.
I'm not that scared of Hillary. I don't like the idea of thinking of people she would appoint to the Supreme Court, but she might have to get them through a Republican Senate. So I think the nation would survive Hillary. I just don't. It's a very dreary prospect. I don't think there's much potential for a lot of progress addressing, for example, the issue of stagnant wages. I mean, that's the basic issue the basic reason I got into this debate was I wrote a book in the 90s about inequality, and I said, called The End of Equality. And the thesis of the book was everybody's going up, the poor are going up a little bit, the rich are going up a lot, so inequality is increasing, but we shouldn't worry about that. It's just money. As long as we all feel like we're equals, that's that's America. There's income inequality, but we feel like we're equals. Then what happened is the people who are at the bottom stopped gaining, and they started to go down. And one of the reasons they started to go down was that they were competing against all the poor people from all over the world who came here as immigrants and were driving down their wages. So I claim there's a seamless flow between my earlier somewhat liberal instincts and making immigration an issue. The other thing is a lot of the same. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah, you're allowed to
A lot
swear.
of the same bullshit that you saw in the welfare debate, you would see in the immigration debate. For example, they would say, "Oh, well, some states have higher welfare benefits, but nobody would move from Chicago to Wisconsin to get higher welfare benefits. That just doesn't happen." And of course, it happens all the time. Well, huge portions of Milwaukee are people who moved from Chicago to Milwaukee for higher welfare benefits.
You give people incentives, and incentives work.
And so they say, oh, well, if we amnesty all the current illegal immigrants, that's not going to encourage more illegal immigrants to come to wait for the next amnesty. Of course it is. These people are totally on top of what the situation is. They're rational actors. Any rational person, and it's doing not very well in a Latin American country, would know that if he sneaks into the U.S., the people before him got to stay and got to become citizens, he's probably going to get to stay and become a citizen too. Of course that's an incentive. So I just had a visceral sort of reaction to that sort
Now,
of BS.
you're based in California. What is the, and we get the mainstream media's spin on what Hispanics who are here legally think about illegal immigration. What is your perspective that the view from Hispanics who came here legally is? Because I've always thought that it was very condescending to say to people, we don't expect your race or your people of your heritage to obey the law.
It's very condescending, and also their views are very complicated, and it's not monolithic. In other words, Mexicans and Guatemalans are very different people from Brazilians, and and a lot of times they don't like.
There's no such place as Hispanica.
Yeah, and a lot of times they don't like each other, and the new people may think the old people may think the new people are not as good as the people that have been there for decades. In general, my guess is it's. There's a general majority for amnesty, loosening borders in the Latino community, but it's not as big as you think it is. And there's a core of 25 to 30% of Latinos who are on the other side. African Americans, it's even more mixed. I would say it's about 50-50. If you look at the results of the Prop 187, which is the Pete Wilson's proposal to deny
that was overturned by the court, so it won.
They cut a sweetheart deal with the courts where the Democrats refused to defend it, and it got thrown out. It was eviscerated by the courts, but it was considered a very anti-immigrant proposal, and it got almost half the black vote. Very surprising. It got like 25% of the Latino vote, but it did surprisingly well among blacks.
Given what you just said, in your opinion, do you think Trump has a chance to draw more of the black vote and Hispanic vote than the left believes enough to win?
I think he totally does. I see him as a Schwarzenegger-like figure, which is a guy who's sort of an outsider from politics, larger than life, drama, tells it like it is, no BS, and that sort of character has a lot of appeal in Schwarzenegger's case, the black and Latino communities. Now, so I don't think Trump is going to do certainly not as badly as the polls now say he is, where he loses 90%. And every percentage of the black vote he gets is like a dagger to Democrats, because in southern states they rely on that black vote to put them over the top. So I think there's a lot of potential for that.
And Mickey, I would be remiss, after you've given me so much of your time late in an evening, for you not to be able to promote your website and any books or anything, okay. Put some money in your pocket.
I haven't written a book in a while. I wrote a book called The End of Equality. It came out in '92. I still think it's right.
Is it still in print?
Still in print, because they print them up on demand now. So it's
all right. So
it's
Amazon shoppers, you know what to do.
Amazon, you can go buy it on Amazon, and I have a website called KausFiles.com.
One of the original blogs.
Any readers appreciate it. At one point I'll monetize it, but it's not monetized right now.
You haven't monetized it after all these years?
I used to monetize it, but no, I just do it because I love it now, and in a few months after the election I'll need a real job, but I have not monetized. Is that a sin? That's probably a sin.
No, it's charming.
I had one advertiser once, and I declared myself profitable and talked the New York Times into writing a piece about how the first blog website is profitable. and I don't think I ever had another advertiser again.
Yeah,
But,
I could tell you stories about that, let me tell you.
So I'm not in that to make money. I'm in that to talk to people.
Well, Mickey Kaus, thank you again so much for your time, especially late in the evening, and I look forward to hearing you tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.